Auburn wasn't good on Saturday, so of course our national host wants to talk about it.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Today's bonus episode is a segment that we did with Locked On College Football, Spencer McLaughlin, noted Auburn hater. He mentions that in just a second, but obviously he wants to talk about the things happening on the Plains. Here's that conversation.
Zac Blackerby of Locked On Auburn is here after another Tigers loss. Bye week for Hugh Freeze to try and get ready and win a conference game. They haven't done that yet, and they faced Oklahoma and Texas A&M. And look, I don't think Auburn is a bad team, Zach. I really don't. I know I'm the biggest Auburn hater.
You're a big one. You're a big Auburn hater, for sure.
Ginormous Auburn hater. I don't think that Auburn is a bad team. I just think that it's year 3 and it's You know, like it's not terrible. It's just Is that fair?
Yeah, and I think the players on the roster, it should look better than just in year 3, 100%. I mean, you could say what you want about Auburn. Like, the talent is certainly there, but
yes,
there are questions you've got to start asking now. And I think folks outside of Auburn have been asking them for a while, and I think Auburn fans are starting to look around and be like, oh, maybe Jackson Arnold isn't that guy. Maybe him holding onto the football is truly an issue. Maybe Hugh Freeze's offense, like it hasn't really become what it's supposed to be up to this point. Or he can't pick the right quarterback. I mean, he's picked Peyton Thorne twice and he's picked Jackson Arnold. Like, could that be part of it? Regardless, you can't go 0 for 12 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down, on the road and win. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, thank goodness for that return by Atkins to set up the 2-yard touchdown drive, the 2-yard run by Jackson Arnold, because you had a shot, Spencer. You had a shot with Auburn getting the ball twice with 4 minutes left to go in the game, and you didn't get a first down on either of those drives, on either of those attempts. One of the worst offensive performances I've seen, and like, I don't want to, make it sound like sour grapes, but like, I don't think A&M defensively is great by any stretch of the imagination. But they
Notre Dame put up a 40-piece on them last week.
Right.
Or a week before, whatever
2 weeks ago. Yeah, they had a bye week. So yeah. I just it was a matchup where I changed my pick towards the end of the week to Auburn because I think the matchups made sense. Because we all assumed Hugh Freeze would do what the right thing was for his football team. And that was, okay, let's do the thing Auburn's good at statistically against the thing that A&M is bad at statistically and run the football. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. Spencer, a running back, didn't carry the football in the first quarter for Auburn.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. I keep doing these little vents, and I keep thinking they'll make me feel better, and they just don't.
Yeah, I need to go back to something you said in there, because everybody probably is wanting you to just, double check and confirm. Did you say 0 for 12 on third down?
Not great. You and I converted as many third downs on Saturday.
Oh, that's not good, because I could be wrong. I don't know what you were doing on Saturday, Zach. Neither of us were playing in a football game on Saturday. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. We were watching the games.
That's right. we were watching the game. So
I'm wrong. It was not 0 for 12. It was 0 for 13.
Oh, I thought you were about to throw a 1 for 12 in there, and we had to take that all back.
I added one on the other column.
We were this close to recording the segment again.
Here. There's so much frustration. Like Cam Coleman, who top 3 receiver in college football. I think he's the second best, but whatever. Like, he's good, right? We all agree on that. 8 targets for 18 yards. It's gross. This offense doesn't make any sense.
Can I go back to something previously?
Yeah,
I just like to point out.
No,
it's good. I bring you on the show to give the good people of Locked On College Football an idea of how Auburn fans are feeling. The word of the day is frustration. It's frustration with Freeze going forward. I'd just like to point out that I was dubbed an Auburn hater for pointing out after the Baylor game, hey, Jackson Arnold still doesn't look great throwing the ball. You can't just run up and down the field for 300 yards once you get into SEC play. Here we are, and that's played itself out. Would you like to offer an apology to me on behalf of Auburn Nation, Zach, or how should we do this?
Because here's my thing, like, can you get 300 yards every week on the ground? No, whatever. But I do think there's a solid chance Auburn wins if they make the running game a priority over the last two games.
Which you and I talked about going into the game. As man, it kind of looks like they're good at this.
Yeah. Yeah. So like while you were technically correct, and I will give that to you, but if Auburn goes into it with that mindset that they had against Baylor, like goodness gracious, I think they win on Saturday. And I think it's a lot closer against Oklahoma.
Going forward for Auburn, when you look at this stretch before the season, I think for Auburn fans, it was reasonable to expect a split, hope for 2-0, but understand a split is okay. 0-2, I think, is perfectly reasonable for Auburn fans to say, when you go 0-2 in that stretch, I know they were close games. I know they were both on the road, Texas A&M off a bye. That's tough. In year one or even year two, I think 0-2 in the stretch can be forgiven. In year three, I'm sorry, it can't. There's too much talent on the field for Auburn. They have recruited way too well for them to just not be able to move the ball offensively. And this was my concern with Hugh Freeze going with Jackson Arnold coming out of the transfer portal window. It was, hey, this is still a developmental guy, and you are in a pressure season. And now he's up against it 0-2 in conference play.
Yeah, yeah. And I had Auburn going 8-4 going into the season, and I had them losing these two games and Georgia. I had them losing these three in a row and then winning out, then losing to Bama. So I had them losing these games and still getting to 8-4. But the reason I'm frustrated is what it looks like. Like, that matters. I feel better about this team if they lose this game by 6 points, but it's 30-36 or something like that, because at least with the defense, like, I trust DJ Durkin. I trust that he's going to be able to do all that. And also A&M scores that many points on everybody. If you would have told me going into this that A&M's going to score 16 points on Auburn, I'm like, oh, Auburn exposes them. Oh, this is going to be a huge win. I think you would have said the same thing. Like,
if you're in
what's not an
a road game against a top 10 team that the last time they played a good team in Notre Dame, maybe not a great one, but a good one on the road, they went for 40. You hold them to 16 points on their home field off a bye, 100%. 100% you should win that game. And if you told Auburn fans that going in, they'd probably feel like, oh, we only have to get 17? Like, you couldn't put up 17 points in a football game with a freak of nature on the perimeter in Cam Coleman.
We continue our conversation with Spencer in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Quo. One of the tools that helps make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly Open Phone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before. It's just got a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is you leaving money on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying two phones or relying on a landline. See why over 90,000 business owners trust Quo, formerly Open Phone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedoncollege. That is QUO.com/lockedoncollege. And if you've got existing numbers with another service, they'll port them over with no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We all know this. The NFL season is here. College football is here. And you need to be getting in on the action. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Like that deserves insane amounts of criticism because it looks like the same thing It looks like the same I don't see what Auburn fans have to be encouraged by with the offense right now. I really don't.
That's part of it. That's part of it. Now, do I think Hugh Freeze could pivot the offensive structure? I'm talking about the staff. Like, could they structure it differently to where maybe he gives up play calling, or maybe he's more involved in the offensive meetings, or he's like, look, I'm going to call plays, but instead of just going up and looking sad and angry and frustrated himself after every game at a press conference, maybe he says, you know what? Like, he always says we should run the ball more. It's like, maybe actually just do it. Maybe you actually just run the ball more. You had Jarquez Hunter last year. You kept saying, yeah, we got to get Jarquez. Or against Oklahoma, he's like, yeah, Jarquez looked tired. It's like, what? He touched it 12 times. I'm sure he's still got more juice in him. Jeremiah Cobb's been fantastic. Damari Austin against Baylor was fantastic. He missed some time because of his shoulder. Let's just use what Auburn is good at and what Jackson Arnold's comfortable with, because he's not interested in throwing the football. Like, that's become clear. He wants to hold on to it. He cherishes it. Doesn't want to turn it over, but he also doesn't want to put it in the air.
You know who Hugh Freeze needs to study the game tape for? I think I've mentioned this before. I made this comparison.
Who? What?
The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech is tertiarily, if that's a word, interested in throwing the ball. They want to run it first with their quarterback. Then they want to run it with their running backs. And frankly, then they want to run it with their receivers before they want to pass. I feel like that's what Auburn should be doing here. I want to get you out on this, Zach. How many wins does Hugh Freeze need to have a job at Auburn next year?
I don't know.
It's a tough question. Tough question.
It depends on what it looks like. Like, if you get to 7 wins and it feels the same way, I don't know. Because I think you lose players. I think you lose recruits. There's got to be some sort of hope instilled. But, like, if you lose to Georgia, and then, I mean, right now I don't think I would pick Auburn to beat Missouri. But you could beat Arkansas.
No, Missouri's a much better football team.
You could beat Kentucky. You could beat Mercer. And so then it's like, all right, like, are you going to beat Vanderbilt right now? I don't think so. And then Alabama's the other one. So, like, that puts you at 6.
Yeah. That's not I don't think.
But it's like, does beating Vanderbilt save your job? Like, we're talking about Auburn here.
You got to look at Vanderbilt differently. That's a 5-0 team that's featured on College Game Day this week, and justifiably so.
Pavia.
I completely agree. We're at the point where Zach is praising Diego Pavia, who has ripped his heart out of his stomach before.
It's a great story, man.
It is.
And, like, I listened to him a few
awesome.
times at media days over the summer. Like,
he's great.
He makes college football better. Diego
does.
Pavia makes college football better.
He's a fun guy to root for. Zac Blackerby, Locked On Auburn. Great.
Thank you so much to Spencer McLaughlin, host of Locked On College Football. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Auburn your first listen. Make Locked On College Football your second listen, if you so please. Or if you want to stay at the conference level, check out our buddy Chris Gordy, host of Locked On SEC. Please like the video. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.